and we're here for another session of our EV DevTech Helpdesk workshop, where we'll do something here. But the main point here is if you have any, technology problems or you're having any issues with your technology, it's supposed to be like an open office hours, and you just ask your questions in the comment. Hopefully, with time, we can grow this into a big community where we're all having very cool conversations, and we can continue the conversations offline. Um, and then also see what we can build together, right? So today, we're going to do something a little bit different. I think we figured out how to use Windows 11 and how to do screenshots and use the File Explorer. And I think we did a pretty comprehensive job of that. I think today what we'll do is a little bit different. I got an idea, and I want to build that idea, and it's an AI idea. So how do we build ideas? So this kind of gives you the thought process as to what do we need to do to start a project, how do we do it, kind of the mindset behind that as well. So before that, let me just do a few quality checks. This is a live stream, so we got to make sure everything's working as intended. So just doing a quick quality check to see how all the streams are doing. I believe Laura is in the chat. Hey, Laura. Laura is our marketing lead here, making sure everything goes smoothly. That is such a techie response. Um, Hello, world. Yeah, she's our first true AGI. She's our first AI agent for our live streams. Of course, right? Um, Everything's going to be automated nowadays. So now our marketing lead is a AI bot. JK, no, it's Laura. She's a person. She has a job, um, and you'll probably see her on the screen here in the future when we have some of our brain thought discussions. All right, sorry, one of our business analysts just gave me a message that we're having a problem. Let me. Trying to uninstall something on a Mac. All right, so let me check YouTube. How are we looking on YouTube? All right, yep, we're live on YouTube. And then how do we look on Twitch? And we're live on Twitch. Let's see, LinkedIn. Can I see LinkedIn? Hey, Ashley. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. LinkedIn is working. We got Ashley in the chat. I'll go. Ashley, if you have any technology question or something that's been poking at your mind the past couple of days, let's make it a conversation. That's what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be a conversation with all of the audience. Obviously, I don't want to just stare at a screen while we build a community. So I will be doing something here on the screen and momentarily. But yeah, if there's any question at all about the technology space or anything that you want to talk about, AI related, I know that you're in the tech world, so you might have something a little bit more specific. Let's just make sure that it's not proprietary. Don't want to get you in trouble. Don't want to get anybody in trouble. So let's keep the question kind of broad, but just here to provide solutions. So let's see here. Where are we? All right, so it looks like we are good to go. Let me see here. Let's see here. All right. So what are we doing today? I have an idea I want to share with everyone. And it's an idea that I know that I honestly, when I used Microsoft Copilot, I didn't find any solution for this. I still had to keep tabs of my Outlook calendar. So when someone asked me, "Hey, when are you free?" And I'm like, let me pull up my phone, pull out my calendar, look at my calendar, review all the times, and then I had to infer, what times I was free. And if it was in a chat, then I have to, or an email, I have to then chat them back and say, "Hey, I am free. I am free during this time, and this time." And that took sometimes a lot of time. And I thought that Copilot would be able to solve for that, but it didn't. And I'm pretty sure they'll get there eventually. But considering that there's large language models already out there that are already integrating with things, you can generate. The whole OpenAI Canva partnership and integration, that portion is pretty awesome. And then also the whole mermaid chart portion is also awesome, where you can create natural language diagrams, and then it'll actually create those diagrams. So essentially, how the problem that I'm facing is, how can we use natural language to automatically answer that calendar question of, "Hey, when are you free?" or "Are you free on X date?" And so I haven't seen a tool that does that yet. So let's build it. Oh, we have a question from Ashley. Do you have any advice on how to integrate or update a CRM system to another CRM system without them talking directly to each other, without it being manually? Yeah. So that's actually what we do. Yeah, I mean, it's a project. It's a full. So the solution, to give you the high level solution, would be, you if the two systems have a API, and depending on so system having an API is important, because now you can tap into the information and pull the information out, right? So that's one thing. Can we pull the information out? If the answer is yes, then yes, you can do it in an automated programmatic fashion. Now, the second question after that is, okay, are there triggers that you can define to automatically push the information, right? If this happens, do this, right? Because now you know what data you want to pull out of it using APIs, or whatever kind of methodologies that you have to extract the data out. Now, when should it do that, right? Answering that question of when should it actually push that data out. Now, underlying question of that when is, does the system, the CRM, or the system, does it have triggers on its own to push that action, right? This happened, let me do this, right? It'll push. Most modern systems now do have that capability, where you can create triggers that when something happens, it will push information, essentially start the process, right? The automation process, to push that data where it needs to go. Now those are two questions, right? Those are two questions we need to answer. The system is, does it have the ability to do a trigger of, like, when this happens, do this, and able to push that trigger to do that action? And then number two, does it have the capability to pull that information out, right? You're able to extract that information out. And so that's how you essentially can integrate any system. It is, as long as you can answer those two things, you can answer any system. Now it just depends on building. Now you have the trigger it's going to do. Now you have the APIs, you know what it's going to do, and what information you're going to pull out of it. Now going into that discussion of, okay, how are we going to do that? So now you just put it at a frequency. Hey, this trigger runs when this action happens, or hey, I need this to run every night, or I need it to run at a frequency. So defining the trigger is important. And then now what that trigger is going to be doing as its action, pulling that information out, pushing it where, right? So once you have those two answers, now it's, does my receiving system have the same capabilities, right? Now I need to have the ability to receive the information that is being pushed from the source system. And now, does it have the API capabilities, or does it have the integration capabilities to be able to receive that information? And then also, in what format does the data need to be in, and stuff like that. And so that's how you make things. I think that's how every system integrates. It's right. It's a basic portion of communication. Of, do I speak the same language? And you have a message that is being sent, and then you have a message that's being received, and then it provides a feedback of, hey, it's received without any errors, right? And that's usually what an integration would look like, is just basic communicate at a high level, basic communication. So, hey, this happened, I'm sending you this information. Hey, I received that information and there's no problems, thank you. Closed system, right? Closed integration at that point. um but yeah, that's the high level solution. Without knowing the actual CRM systems, or without knowing the specifics, I can't really tell you, a more specific solution. But that is the solution, right? Figuring out if they can talk to each other, and when they need to talk to each other, and what information do they need to send to each other, and then making sure that you have a closed loop and confirmation that the information was received. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap for that. Does that answer your question, Ashley? All right. So from here, where were we? Calendars. How can I have AI answer the question of, I need to figure out what times I'm free on X date because I'm being asked when are you free? So let's pull up kind of a Word document, and let's write this out, right? Let's write it out. Let me share my second screen. There we go. So let's write our problem. Can we create, so the problem statement, let me make this bigger. Boom, boom. So the problem statement, it takes way too much time to figure out when I'm available, when asked for available time slots during work periods, during work hours, right? And so the vision, I guess, is I want AI to interface with my calendar and tell me when I'm available to share with the client, friend, prospect, etc. The reason, and there's a solution for this already, right? Everybody has a Calendly. Everybody has an appointment booker link, things like that. Um, and that's kind of how we've solved it, right? Like, hey, here's the here's my calendar link. Do the work yourself. Um, it's a solution, but I don't feel like it's the best solution. I feel like it's a if we want to provide the most white glove service, and keep it human and keep it relationable, that um, mm, allow them to go ahead and also the caveat to that is it takes time, right? It takes a little bit more time. You have to send them the link. They have to click on the link. They have to populate the information. It's a process, and so how do we make that process as seamless as possible, simple as possible? Um, so what my vision is that if I can create some form of AI interface where if the question is asked, then I can quickly go to my AI assistant, say, "Hey, when am I available this week?" Um, Copy and paste it, put it back um, into the email or the message. Um, Obviously, I have to be confident that it's correct, that the information is correct, right? It has to follow the rules of being within work hours or things like that, and maybe I put in a secret word that I have to answer if it's okay to answer outside of those hours, right? Like, no, I want to schedule it for 9 p.m. With this individual, and it's like, okay, what's the secret word? And then you give it the secret word, and it helps you schedule it on that side. Um, just a couple of constraints there, just so that not anybody can just like, because the goal is eventually you probably want to publish this somewhere, right? And then just have people book meetings that way as well, or interject it into a conversation that's being had. Anyways, I'm thinking that this is for right now. This is going to be my own personal tool. When someone asks me, "Hey, when are you available?" I go to my AI interface and say, "Hey, when am I available?" And then it returns back with my availability, and then I just copy and paste that into the conversation I'm having with whoever I'm talking to, right? So simplifying that aspect, and it still is more personable because I'm hopeful that it'll be immediate, right? Um, Instead of me sending them a link, I can send them specific times, like, "Hey, I'm available at these times. Which one works best for you?" And then kind of close it out. Like if they pick up time right then and there, if we're messaging back and forth, or if I'm walking at an event or at a conference, or during dinner, like, "Hey, I want to have a conversation about that this Thursday. When are you free?" Then I don't know, right? I got to pull up my calendar and figure it out. That I could have this conversation, and it will give me that response back, and I can make things actionable, right? The world keeps moving. You want to act, and with as minimal downtime as possible. So I want an interface with my calendar to tell me when I'm available to share with clients, friends, prospects, etc. um, and kind of go from there. As you can see, we use Google Workspace. Obviously, the intent is for everybody to be able to use this. So we'll want to build this out for our Microsoft friends in the future. But mainly, this is going to be for a personal. Um, this is for a personal assistant, meaning right? So that means it has to be integrated to your calendar. What are the big calendars nowadays? There's Google Calendar, there's Outlook Calendar, and then if you're in iOS, there's that iOS Calendar. Is there any other calendars out there? I don't know. What do Android folks use? What's the Android calendar called? Okay, so it is. Okay, so it's a Google Calendar. Okay, so that makes it simple. So if we satisfy for the Google Calendar, we satisfy for Android users as well. Outlook Calendar satisfies the Microsoft folks, and then the iOS calendar satisfies all of the Apple folks, which the iOS calendar integrates to the Outlook calendar and Google Calendar. So it's kind of a wrapper calendar sort of sorts. Okay, so let's talk about some scenarios, right? Scenarios. I was asked, I'm at dinner. I'm at dinner and I'm asked if I'm free next Thursday. To meet up, right? That's the, let me make this a bulleted list. Oh, not that. Let me just okay. I know I'm typing fast, guys. Leave me alone. I know Thursday's a noun, person, place, or thing. Has to be capitalized. Number 2. Client asks when I'm free this week to talk. Client asks if I'm free next week to talk. Now, what about if, so all of course, all of these scenarios would need to do, we need to make the counter scenarios as well, right? If you're not free this week, what is it going to do? If you're not free next week, what is it going to do? Can it understand weeks? Now, things to think about. I mean, I could be overcomplicating this. I'm very good at that. I want it to respect my work hours or designated hours. Or days of work. Days that I work. It's a caveat to this, right? Because we'll have to understand intent. The intent is, if this is work related, to keep it inside of the work hours. So let me put that as that. If this is work related, I want to keep it to work days and hours. And if it's personal, it's whatever I tell it. If I want it to be at 2 o'clock in the morning, I am telling it I'm going to do something at 2 o'clock in the morning. If it is personal, no restrictions. What do you think, Laura? Do you think this is a good start for the minimum? Ooh, Laura, you're breaking my mind. Now, do you differentiate between your personal and work calendar? Hmm. Differentiate between work and personal calendar. Ooh, I can see how this can get ugly quick. I think I like that. That's I want to say that maybe this is a later feature. Maybe for now we focus on one calendar, right? With the thought of adding multiple calendars in the future. Because people could have multiple calendars. Okay. I'm happy with this. It takes way too much time to figure out when I'm available when asked for available time slots during work hours. Or what if I just say for available time slots, period? Just statement. And then this is really a proposed solution. Okay, so propose own interface, calendar, and the invitation might be from different outlets also. iMessage. Yeah, so I think we're trying to just build the gateway after that, right? Because once we solve this problem, then it's just integrating this solution into other places, whether it's WhatsApp, iMessage, emails, etc. It's just what are we going to plug it into, um, right? So what we're trying to plug it into right now, maybe we'll start with Chat GPT, and kind of go from there, right? So because now we have the solution, we're all about the value, baby. We got to get the value first, make sure that it works. Then once we have the prototype in place that we know that it works, it's going to provide value. Then we can figure out where else we can provide that value. So providing the value for the most, which who's the largest um, language model right now, or the most users? I think it has to be OpenAI. Um, most used LLM. Let's see. Not the best, the most popular. Let's look at Matthias. What does Matthias think? the GPT series, most popular and one of the best performing models. Yes, of course. OpenAI is one of the best. They just released that new O1 model. That one's um, pretty good. They're putting a steep price tag on it at $200 a month. Um, I've used it. I guess I just haven't. I haven't been able to justify the cost yet. But I know its reasoning is really good. It's just finding something to offset the cost. Gemini is close second, as it's actually its preview model is actually a little bit better than O1's reasoning, from what I've seen, than Llama and Claude. Claude is really great at math, and it has some programming portion as well. They're look, they're all pretty good, and I'm pretty sure all of them can do what we're trying to talk about. But we're trying to help the most amount of folks, and the most amount of folks are going to use GPT, the GPT series, and kind of go from there. I I guess what I'm trying to say with that is we're going to do we're going to do it in GPT with OpenAI first. Let's see here. All right. So, what are we going to do with this? Let's create a project charter. Well, let's see what it has to say. To build solution. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do that. Let me copy and paste what I have here. Oh, this is Chat GPT's or OpenAI's Mac add-on, or application. You can download that. I believe you have to be on the first paid tier of I think it's $20 a month. You can change models. I've already used up my O1 credits for the month. um, so that resets on December 16th. You can also do O1 Mini, and so you can also use some of the older ones, and kind of go from there. Let's try out the O1 Mini. That one has some reasoning, logic behind it, so it'll kind of explain its reasoning as to why it told you what it did. You do lose out on some functionality there, where you can't add files to that model just yet. So it's not, you can't plug things into it. It's not multimodal. You can put it into to make it work with some applications. And so I have it for code. You can also put it for your command lines. I use iTerm, so I can enable that as well and use that there. Then from there, you can select the models. You can create a temporary chat. That means that as soon as you're done with the conversation, it's going to be deleted. You can have a conversation with the model. So this has its conversational AI a part of it. So if you, just like you can use it on the phone app, if you have the conversational model, it essentially allows you to have conversations with your with a large language model. It's really neat. You can have it sing and do all sorts of other stuff. Like it's really conversational. It's like you're talking to an actual person, or at least it tries to. You can interrupt it too, so um, it's always listening to you. So I'm going to copy and paste this into here, so that way we can get a better um, see what it's going to say. A better project, because we're going to make this into a project. We want to make sure that we deliver on what we start. And the best way to deliver on what you start is to start with a plan, um, and then just start doing it. So let's see what it comes up with. And I know that this probably isn't readable. Let me make that bigger. All right. So it's created a project charter. We're going to do an AI-powered personal assistant for calendar availability management. The project purpose and justification: managing and communicating personal availability is time-consuming and often inefficient, leading to delays and frustration when scheduling meetings or social engagements. Yep. By leveraging artificial intelligence to interface with existing calendar system, this project aims to streamline the process of sharing available time slots with clients, friends, prospects, and other contacts. This solution will enhance productivity, reduce scheduling conflicts, and improve overall time management for users. Absolutely. Problem statement: it currently takes excessive time and effort to determine and communicate available time slots when requested. Let me see here. Um, when requested, causing inefficiencies and potential scheduling conflicts. Yes, it has happened to me so many times where someone said, "Hey, let's meet next Thursday," and I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it. Doesn't matter what's on my calendar." And then come to find out that I had a very important calendar event on that day. Um, so the proposed solution: develop an AI-powered personal assistant that integrates with users' calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook, to automatically determine and communicate available. This assistant will respond to availability requests by analyzing the user's integrated calendar and providing suitable options to the requester. So the objectives: integration. We want to seamlessly integrate to the AI assistant with major calendar platforms. Yes. Automation. Automatically analyze calendar data to determine available time slots. Yes. Communication. Provide an easy interface for sharing availability with clients, friends, and other contacts. Very good. Customizations. Allow users to set preferences, such as distinguishing between work and personal schedules. Yes, we want it to be scalable. Scalable. It's so important. You want it to be useful, and for it to be able to grow. Let it have its own. Let it turn into an amalgamation of its own. Ensure the solution can handle multiple calendars and differentiate between work-related and personal events in future phases. Okay. What's it saying is in scope? Okay. Functional AI assistant capable. So deliverables: functional AI assistant capable of interfacing with specified calendar platforms. User interface: simple and intuitive interface for users to share availability. Documentation: user guides, integration manuals, and technical documentation. Testing reports, comprehensive testing to ensure reliability and accuracy. Strategy for rolling out the solution to users, the stakeholders. development team, IT support. So let's define it that, hey, this is just our goal is to create a prototype. Right, we want to make it small enough just for us. Pretty sure you'll. Yeah, I don't want to go through all the technical mumbo jumbo with us, I'm sure. And so let's see what it said. So this is the cool thing about O1 Mini or the O1 model is that you can actually click on the thought that it provided. So this is what it tried to do. So adjusting focus. The user's goal is to center on creating a prototype. So the assistant, it's talking about itself, should modify the project charter to specify steps for this or develop a separate plan for the prototype. Crafting prototype details about progress. A revised project charter is essential, emphasizing deliverable. Okay. All right. And it changed the title to have prototype. Purpose to validate the feasibility functionality of an AI-powered personal assistant that interfaces with calendar systems to manage and share availability. Developing a prototype will allow for early testing. Did it lose its meaning of its purpose, though? Because the purpose is very important, right? I think this purpose was way better. Let me see here. Budget estimates. Let's keep it high level. Let's keep it high level. Let me go back. I don't want to do this in this form. We're gonna spend way more time trying to get the up. There's no such thing as perfect. We don't need perfect. So I'm just going to keep it high level. All right, so now that we have our project charter, I really did like the initial project charter. Keep it with that scope. You don't need to overcomplicate it to make it smaller. High level requirements, that's fine because it's essentially the biggest. So part of the high level requirements, it put in the availability to send available through various time slots. Constraints. Okay. Yep, that is true. Google does have quotas on their APIs, so that's something we got to think about. Not really worried about user adoption, right? Well, if people need it, they'll use it. That's the most important thing. Yeah, this is valid, right? Who's going to build it? The resources are going to build it. Data privacy breaches. Well, I'm just doing it for myself, so it's not going to be a problem. Integration failures. Yeah, that's a fact. That's something real. This data privacy breaches is going to be important if we start thinking about actually creating a public-facing tool, right? An application that other users are going to use, because there's things to think about, like is that calendar data going to be trained on? Now, what is that data going to be used? Like, there's so much to think about from a data perspective, because now your calendar can potentially be your who, what, when, right? And where. So that's important. You got to make sure you got to keep that private to yourself, or just to those that you want the ability to see that information. And I'm really looking forward to share the AI inaccuracies of this. Don't really care about user resistance. I think that it's useful. Um, it's going to be useful for me. I think it's useful for a business setting. On a personal setting, I can see the reluctance to adopt that, or to grant calendar access, right? Again, going back to that privacy breaches. So yeah, I mean, that's a potential risk. And then technical debt. That's always a thing when you're building something. It's giving us a high level timeline. These are just guesses. I don't I don't believe any timelines that any AI provides because it has no experience. It has no experience as to what's it going to take to build this. Now, if it had data to compare it to, and it provides that the timelines, then we go. Then maybe I would trust it. But again, um, usually timelines and milestones are done by folks that have the experience actually building it. The budget, we're not going to worry about a budget. This is going to be something that we're going to build internally, and obviously we're going to spend a whole bunch of time on it. Where we'll do it from time to time. So from there, let's we got the project charter, and now let's create our work breakdown structure, where we are starting with Google calendars and go from there. All other calendars will be for future phases. I'm gonna skip the administrative portion of this because we're gonna do the administrative portion together, right? I don't think this is for fun. I don't think there's anything that we have to prove here. Um, I think we have some pretty good high level requirements, and we're our own stakeholders, so we're just going to build it ourselves. Let's focus on the designs, the API designs, the development. Let's see here, front end development. Deployment planning. Let's tailor this to be. I wonder if that will help it. Okay. I like this a lot better. It's a lot more high level, as it should have been. I don't I don't really necessarily care for the front end development, because the front end is now going to be where are we going to plug this in? The back end, once we build the algorithms, once we implement we're able to connect our calendars. That's the solution. right? So now I think from that point, we need to look into, okay, well, where do we want to plug that in? And that's the front end, whether that's a chat GPT, um, um, another GPT, right? An agent or of some sort, or if it's its own app, or if we build a extension for Chrome, right? There's so many ways. The front end is just where are we going to do this at, right? And how? It's the user interface, right? So what's going to be that interfaces, and we have so many places we could potentially um, put this in. So that's going to be good. Testing, I guess. User acceptance. Too formal. Too formal. It's not that big a deal. All right, we're going to use this, and I think that's what time? Well, I only got 3 minutes left, so that's our project, right? So next time, um, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a GitHub repo where we'll save all of our code for this. I'm going to use this as a high-level project template, and make some changes to it, um, to make it less annoying. um, and um, and then, um, when we have some spare time, we'll start working towards that, and then, next time we'll share where we've gotten to it, or what's where we're at. This is going to be a project that we'll start working on until we have something to show for it, right? And we'll just work through it, at in these sessions while we, see what questions you guys have. Just like Ashley had, that was a great question, by the way, Ashley, on how do you integrate CRMs to other CRM systems, or pass down information or update information so it's continuously in sync. Um, so that's what this is supposed to be about. Like, we're getting there. Once we get to a point where, we have a big enough community, I'm pretty sure we're going to spend a lot of the time, just talking about possible solutions and how to help and who to help, and thinking about, um, the possible solutions. We'll turn this into kind of a republic community here of solutions. So that was a great question, Ashley. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for watching us today. And so this is the portion of the show where I get to sell you something. What am I selling today, Laura? I, she says IT help desk. Let's see here. Bloop. And let's close that out. And all right. Oh, I lost you guys. There you guys are. We're here to help. That's absolutely true. So are your business processes working for you or against you? Your business logic is the backbone of your operations. It's what makes your workflow, systems, and decisions unique. But when outdated processes and inefficient tools get in the way, they can slow you down and create unnecessary complexity. Um, an outsourced IT department doesn't just fix technical issues, it provides a impartial perspective, right? It works with you to rethink and redesign your business logic. By aligning technology with your goals, we help you save time, simplify decisions, and adapt as you scale. So we save time by automating repetitive tasks, We simplify decisions with clear, actionable insights, and then we adapt as you scale by building systems that grow with you. Your business logic defines how data flows, decisions are made, and processes run, right? Sorry. Your business logic defines how data flows, decisions are made, and processes run. Let's ensure it's driving growth, not creating obstacles. And so we're here to be your technology partners, to help you solve a problem, or to, hey, I'm having issues in this area. What do you think, Eric? Or what do you think, EV DevTech? We're here to provide our opinions, and not only provide you our opinions, but also execute on those decisions that ultimately you make every day to make your business better. Alrighty. Like Laura says, we're here to help, and tune in to us on Thursday. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Central Time. And so, alrighty, take care.